Did you hear about the woman that they built from scratch? The one whose civil engineers were contracted to construct the arch in her cheekbone so that her smile could hold the weight of her family's sorrows. Eyelashes like power lines so that her soul conveyed clear messages from eyes of high-definition plasma crystals. That is, if anyone even bothered looking into them without mixing their signals. Not a perfect woman, not some top model video vixen, a real woman that the doctors wanted to construct right up from the start. So they took the exhaled air from baby's laughter and braided it into fiber optic cables to form the muscle fibers of her heart. So that with each laugh, the cable shook and pumped pure joy throughout her being, which was processed by a mainframe computer at the top of her tower. But hours and hours of manpower from IBM, Pentium, Apple, Dell, Sony, and Nokia could not manufacture a microchip to match a natural woman's neurology. So the Pentagon was brought in. And from the Black Ops Division, they reverse engineered her mind power from alien technology. How else could you get a woman's otherworldly intelligence? The know-how to unwrap a sperm and egg and unfold a destiny, then iron out the creases to a college degree, the origami paper crated so it flies on its own, leaving the nest in the direction it was destined to be. A woman knows which toe on her baby's foot kicked her from inside the womb and formed the exact stretch mark on her belly. She knows the reasons behind the reasons why you say you can't stay. It can plot the precise distance between your car keys and your infidelity. She knows why you cannot look her in the eye. It's because you are what you focus on. And the men most fascinated by cleavage are already boobs in the first place. And the woman from scratch was coming together, with round-the-clock crews working like red ants on Red Bull, trying to construct the queen they always wished they'd come from. Picture crack teams of scientists and architects with severe mommy issues, projecting onto the project everything they never had to begin with. Which, of course, there's so many unanswered questions like, how strong should the biceps be to cradle a man's ego? Because nothing is more fragile when dropped back down to earth. The mass alone accounts for 80% of the weight of the world on her shoulders. The other part, well, that comes from the burden of birth. And then the problem was discovered. Amongst all the axioms and formulas, there was one overlooked detail. In the midst of the great scientists, architects, and engineers on the teams, not a single one of them were female. Not a one. Because when it came time to construct the womb, the whole project began to unravel. With all of man's technological advances, none had ever accomplished the art of interdimensional travel, a feat that the uterus had mastered for babies since the beginning of time. A vortex had to be created. So the wife of the chief physicist came up with a solution. She gathered women from all walks of life whose journeys had led them to one common conclusion: a hysterectomy. Because no woman knew better the valuable womb than those forced to live without one. They gathered on a hip level of the feminine structure, formed a circle, and they began to sing. Sing for all those times we tried to recreate women who already existed. Sing for the Botox that stopped the wrinkles when all your skin was trying to do was remember your smile to help your spirits get lifted. For the broken breast implant that leaked for all the tears she kept inside her. For the one-night hit and runs where a woman tried to keep a man by throwing her uterus in front of his tires, hoping that the bump would take him higher so he'd be closer to his potential. And with all the passing of the voices, the vortex began to open up, but what happened after that remains classified. But what we can tell you about the project is this. To build a woman from scratch had to be a man's idea, because only we would mock our own hands by trying to recreate a creator. Our fingerprints can be found upon countless mistakes, where you become expert at the art of how to miscommunicate. But if every word in this language can be twisted into lies, there was one amongst them all that could set them back up right, and that word is woman. Woman. A word so beautiful that if I shouted it into the Grand Canyon, I could jump off and fly around upon its echoes. There is a force in this world that even the gods must come to reckon with. And baby, that power is you. And you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.